Shabbat Shalom, friends.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's good to be with you. I hope that you're well. The world is a complicated place. That's an understatement. Thank God we can come here, come together, celebrate Shabbat as a community, find a little bit of safe haven, solace, hope, all the things that we so very much need these days. And we are extremely excited for Ayla and her wonderful family who've come from near and far. Ayla will be called to the Torah tomorrow morning as a bat mitzvah, a great milestone for her and for all who know and love her. She's worked very hard toward this momentous occasion, and we are super duper proud of her. We're glad that you're here now. We're going to have a service that's very much musical and interactive, an opportunity to put the world outside, and give ourselves the gift of being present, being here, together, with our cantor, with Herb, and with our youth choir, who's going to help us to lead our service on this special night. We're going to begin with song, as we always do, to help ourselves to shift gears as we sing together Lo Yisa Goy, which can
or
be...
Hine Matov.
Or Hine Matov, which is what we're now going to sing. On page 128 is Hine Matov. Friday night, we bring in the light and the warmth of Shabbat as we illuminate our Shabbat candles, the blessing for which can be found in your prayer book on pages 120 and 121. To lead us on this special night, it's my pleasure to welcome forward Liz, Ayla, Susie Grumbacher, Sarah Ann Address, and Jane Travis Address.
They love you, they just want more attention.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. My pleasure to call on Ayla to lead us tonight in our Shabbat Kiddush. which you can find on page 123. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kijanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinhilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tzirat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, v'otanu kigashta, mikol ha'olim. Shabbat kodesh ve'ahava uvratzon kichaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
We may be seated. We sing together Lecha Dodi as we welcome the Sabbath bride, page 138, and we join tonight in verses 1, 8, and 9. Welcome the start of our Sabbath.
Boi v'shalom ater balav, gam b'simcha u'sochola, toch emuneh am segula. Boi chala,
Cow.
is our custom, we turn to those around us to wish them Shabbat Shalom. Feel free to introduce yourself to others. As we remain standing, our service continues with Baruch, our call to worship, which we can find on page 264.
Rose Jacqueline.
La 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 la, la 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 la, Varecha.
I don't even know why I'm here. We sing our song of freedom. Our song of freedom is Michamocha. Freedom is a word that we turn to and return to over the course of this week, especially as we thought deeply about the freedoms that we enjoy as Americans, as human beings, as Jews. Freedom is something that we fight for in every generation to ensure that all people are fully free to make the choices that they want to make in the name of their own future and their own health. Freedom for all people, regardless of their race or ethnicity or the God that they pray to. Freedom that is real and widespread, and we will continue to not only sing in the name of freedom, but march in the name of freedom, speak out in the name of freedom, as we join now in Mi Chamocha, our Song of Freedom, page 270. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et
העולמים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ים בריבים במים,
Shabbos, Shabbos, Yom Rivim B'May. Shabbos, Shabbos, Yom Rivim B'May. Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom.
Our service continues with our tefillah, which you can find beginning on page 273. Please rise.
Adonai sifatai titahu fiagi tehillateka. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotzeinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, בלירום גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חצרות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומבין, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעת צרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מקיים כל התורה והושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, אישי מעבר, מי כמוך במגורות, ומדום אליו, מלך ממיט ומחייב, ומצליח בישועה, ונאמן אתה חזות
Baruch atah
אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. As we do turn now to our prayer for peace, our prayer for greater shalom, a greater sense of peace in our broken world. We think very much at this time of our beloved homeland, the state of Israel. We think of the people of Ukraine and all peoples who have been touched by violence and pain, the pain brought on by heartache and war. We pray with these hallowed words that our world will know a greater level of kindness, understanding, and empathy, and God willing, very soon. Shalom Rav can be found on page 282.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Ki oto melech harol lekol Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. Our service continues as we offer a prayer for healing for those in our own lives, those in our community, those around the world who may be in need of healing as we arrive at the start of this Shabbat. We pray for all of those struggling, hurting in some way, whether physically or emotionally or otherwise. And as a congregational community on this night, our prayers are very much with Ileana Cohn, Rick Ulrich, Lynn Romsberg, Jerry Dreskin, Ann Marsden, Sarah Oken, Gary Garnick, Michael Infanti, Shirley Friedlander, Jen Jones, Jocelyn Jackson, Eddie Rosen, Mary Mednitsky, Murray Kammerman, Rick Foranel, Todd Pollard, Dr. Jerry Herman, Carrie Basin, Hudson Hodge, Harriet Rosenberg, Ari Sobel, Carol Schaefer, Jordan Maverick Steinberg, Tricia Tepper, Barbara Cohn, Mary Parker, Louis Alahat, Karen Bowen, Joan Major, Marcy Gittler, and Mindy Fisher. If there's a name you'd like to add to this list, someone for whom you offer a Misha Berach, a prayer for healing, please feel free to do so now as my glance meets your own. We join together in Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. For the sake of our own silent and personal prayers. Shabbat Shalom again. Everybody, can you hear me? Hello? Are you there? Are we here? Is it happening? Are we all right? So let me, first of all, as many of you know, whenever we have a family service, instead of a big serious sermon, I come down, we talk, a little give and take. Maybe I start with a joke. And it appears that I've been doing this long enough that people know what's coming and are trying already to talk me out of it, which is fine. What do you call a fish in a bow tie?
What?
Sophisticated. You're welcome. I actually had a joke about paper, but it's terrible. Okay, it's fine. We're moving on. I also want to say before I say something that the Sixers are going to win tonight, guys. And the reason I know that is because you are here. It's because you are here. You made the choice. You chose faith and community. You could have chosen otherwise, and here you are. And I think it's going to make all the difference. That's my own personal rabbinic prediction for you. Okay, so where are we? We usually talk about the Torah portion. Maybe we can do that. I'm going to step down here. Okay? Does anyone know what the Torah portion even is this week? Ayla knows it. It's called Kiddoshim. What does that word mean? Kiddoshim. It sounds so familiar. Maybe I know other words that sound like that word. Like when we say the blessing over the grape juice, that's called the Kiddush. And when we say a prayer that we miss people no longer with us, that's called the Kaddish. Those are all from the same exact root. So the word Kiddoshim means holiness. That's a very fancy, sophisticated word. Oh my God. I hear you. Okay, so this is a very important Torah portion. Like every Torah portion is important, but this one is important for its own reasons. It has in it a section that's so important. We read it on Yom Kippur afternoon every year. We read it on our most special day of the whole year, and that section of this Torah portion is called the Holiness Code. Have you ever heard of that? Now you have. You're welcome. The Holiness Code. And the Holiness Code is basically a paragraph that gives us like Judaism 101, the absolute highlights. If you had to summarize the Torah in just a couple sentences, you would get the Holiness Code. That's what you would get. So let's think about it. What do you think is in the Holiness Code? Now that I've explained it that way, what would you put in there? What are the most important things? We should remember where we come from, right? That we used to be slaves in the land of Egypt. That's good. That would probably go in there. What else? You would put words in there. Well, that's very good. I asked for that. Sam, what would you put in the Holiness Code?
Respect the disabled, honest weights and measures, to pay working people promptly upon performance of their work.
It feels like you know about the Holiness Code, Sam. So yes to all of the above. I'll just repeat what Sam said so we can all hear it. So first we have a line about helping those who live with disabilities or challenges. Specifically, it says we shouldn't curse the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. That means what? That if someone has trouble, we shouldn't make life harder for them. Instead, we should try to make life a little easier for them. We should help them, right? That's about accessibility. That's about inclusion. That's about kindness. Sam also said we should treat our workers fairly. Is that what you said? Yes, we shouldn't withhold their wages. And you also said honest weights and measures. Very good. That's all in there. What else would you put in the Holiness Code if you were writing it? What else would you put in there? How about anything about how we should treat people or not treat people? Madsen, what would you say? There you go. Treat people with kind words. It says specifically our parents. It does say that. It says it in the Torah. I was not asked to say that. It does say that. And it specifically says we should be kind to our elders, right? That we should rise before our elders. That's actually the one verse in the whole Torah that appears in every bus in Israel. Mipnei seva takum. You shall rise before your elders. Give up your seat if someone older is nearby. So that is in there, Madsen. What else would you guys put in there? Anything about the holidays, maybe? Or how we treat other people, other living creatures? Or you guys think that's enough? That's enough. Let's not. Yeah. No bullying. That's a great one. I would put that one in there too. No bullying. So this is kind of the stuff that goes in there. All the stuff that you guys said, because you're super smart. That's what's in there. The Holiness Code, Leviticus 19. Let me say two more very quick things about the Holiness Code. And I know Ayla's going to say more about the Holiness Code tomorrow in her very, very good Devar Torah, which I've had the privilege of reading. So, one, in the Holiness Code, we're told that it applies to the entire community, because we're told that Moses is to speak to Kol Adat B'nai Yisrael. And when they use that word Adat, that's community. So that doesn't mean just like the people who were standing there at the time. That means all of us. These are the rules that should speak to all of us, every generation, no matter our age, no matter where we live. We're connected by these rules. We're connected by these rules. And one sort of cool thing that we didn't even say yet is that these rules connect the generations. That when we follow these rules, yes, we're being nice to our mom and dad. Yes, we're being nice to people that we work with. Yes, we're choosing inclusion. But what we're also doing is we're connecting ourselves to the people who came before us, who also tried to do all those things. I saw one. Did I see one more hand go up out of nowhere? Is that Jake? Did you want to say something? Are you sure? I bet it's really good. I said it? Was it the sophisticated joke? No. Okay. All right. So as is also our family service tradition, we're now going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries from this month of May. So if this is your month, or even if last month was your month and you didn't get a chance to get here, you're going to rise where you are, and we're going to offer you a special blessing now. All of our birthdays and anniversaries, milestones from this month. God of days and years, author of life, our times are in your hands. We thank you for the blessing of life and for all that enriches our lives. May we have the joy of coming together for many, many more years, united by mutual reverence and love. Then indeed will our lives be filled with an abundance of blessing. We can join together in Shehechianu as we say, Baruch, Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu, v'higianu lazman hazeh. Which means, blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, sustained us, and helped us to reach this very special moment in time. And together we can all say, Amen. As our service continues, page 586.
Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto God, whose miracles and established the earth.
Our thoughts do turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, life and death. We recall at this time those taken from our congregational community in most recent days, including Harvey Savage, father of Heidi and Rick Kramer, Sanford Silverberg, brother of Peter Silverberg, Sandra Smith, sister of Howard Beckerman, Harold Luboff, father of Renee and Norm Luboff Godfrey, grandfather of Taylor and Pierce, and Edwin Schaefer, father of David and Robin Schaefer. As well, we recall at this time those whose yahrzeit we mark this Shabbat. Rachel Azulai, Max Buckdahl, David Gallinson, Irving Greenberg, Richard Grossman, Sari Isdaner, Saul Kaufman, Samuel Marcus, Melvin Morris, Gail Nagin, Aaron Solomon, and Faye Schulman Winkler. I would ask to rise at this time those with us on this night in the midst of observing Shiva, the first 7-day period of mourning, followed by those with us in the midst of observing Shloshim, the first 30-day period of mourning, followed by those within the first year of mourning the loss of a loved one, followed by those who tonight are observing the yahrzeit of a loved one, and lastly, if there's someone for whom you say Kaddish, a name that has not yet been shared, please feel free to rise and do so as my glance meets your own. In all their names and all their memories, in the memory of the many for whom there is no one to say Kaddish, we rise together for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach v'yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv yimru, Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach le'olam u'amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran v'alma v'imru, Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya, L'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Oseh shalom b'mromav, Uyaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. We may be seated. It's my pleasure to welcome forward Diane Singer, our temple president, to share tonight's announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. So I did just try to find a joke about the 76ers, but they were really mean. So I'll just hope they win and not go down that path because it was bad. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Rabbi David, Cantor Sandy, Herb, the youth choir. You were fabulous as always for leading tonight's service. Thank you to Karen, Helen, Sarah for assisting with greeting and tonight's oneg. And a special mazel tov to Ayla and her family for Ayla's upcoming bat mitzvah. Exciting times. And as always, a special thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. Please join us tomorrow morning at 8:45 for Torah Talk and Bagels, followed by our Shabbat morning service at 10 a.m. when Ayla will be called to the Torah in honor of her bat mitzvah. Join us also next Friday, May 13th, for our annual Sisterhood Shabbat. Hopefully there'll be a little something special at Oneg. Sarah, where's Sarah? Jess. Are you baking? Will you bake for us for next week too? Okay. All right. Anyway. Sunday, because it's Sisterhood's Designer Handbag Bingo. Please sign up. And Tuesday evening, May 17th, for Sisterhood's Ice Cream Social and General Meeting to vote in the new board. ECC is looking for staff for their summer camp program as well as teachers for the fall. If you are at least 18 years old and are interested in applying or know somebody who's interested, please contact Sandy Tobin or the front office. Tonight's Goneg is in the lobby. Thank you to the Grumbacher and Adjust family for providing specially made treats for tonight's Oneg. That's why I was hoping it would continue next week. You know, we can hire you. So hopefully you'll stay for a few minutes and enjoy, schmooze, and catch up with your fellow congregants. And in honor of Mother's Day, tonight's thought for Shabbat is, to the world, you are a mother, but to a family, you are the world. On behalf of the Adath Emmanuel Board of Trustees, I wish all of you a happy Mother's Day. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Joke about the Sixers, their defense. There you go. Okay. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu is our closing song. Please join us, page 657. Before making our way to our oneg, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Okay, go back there for the questions.